Okay, welcome to another edition of the Above the Bridge podcast. I'm your host, Thaddeus Park. If this is your first time on our podcast, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts. We're on pretty much all the platforms. We're on YouTube. If you check us out on YouTube, like, subscribe, leave a comment, it matters. And we can also be found at atbpod.com. First thing I want to do is shout out our sponsors. Shout out to Defend Hawaii. They've been my first sponsor. They've been with me from the beginning. They have a store in Winter Mall called Noan. Right now, they have a new spring line dropping. Go check them out on their website, defendhawaii.com. If you use promo code ATBPOD upon checkout, you'll get 15% off your whole order. So anytime you go on defendhawaii.com, use ATBPOD as your promo code and you'll get 15% off everything you buy over there. So go check them out. Next, we have IREP Detail Supply, and they're your one-stop shop superstore for anything you need to detail any of your vehicles. They have a store in Temple Valley Shopping Center. They also have one in Las Vegas. But go check them out on their website, irepdetailsupply.com. Again, if you use promo code ATBPOD upon checkout, you'll get 15% off whatever you order to get something to detail your car. Last but not least, we have our medicinal mushroom company. It's Medicinal Mushroom Hawaii, and they're your locally based medicinal mushroom. That's hard to say. They're your locally based medicinal mushroom company. They're grown all their mushrooms here in Hawaii. They extract from the lion's mane, chaga, turkey tail, and red reishi, and they put in these tinctures. And from these tinctures, you just put it under your tongue and you'll get the medicinal benefits for each one of these mushrooms. If you don't know what they're good for, go check them out on their website at medmushroomhigh.com. I know I take these every single day. I take the first three in the morning, and this red reishi, I take for bed. It helps me sleep like a champ. I have the best sleep with that stuff. Go check them out, medmushroomhigh.com. And if you use promo code ATBPOD upon checkout, you'll get 45% off your first tincture of extracted mushrooms. ATBPod.com. Sorry, you got to have it all capitals. ATBPod, all capitals. Go check them out. Aloha. Okay, this week on my show, I'm welcoming back one of the guests that I had when we did the dog show podcast. He owns Foundation Raw Food Company. Kaleo Teixeira. What's up, man?
What's up, brother Tad? How you doing, brother?
Great, bro. It's super cool to have you back on. I touched a little bit when you were on the show last time about your raw dog food, and I wanted to do a deep dive in what you got going on. And it's kind of nuts because I watched the video you did with the kibbles and bits, and you pour water inside and it just expanded, and you're explaining to the people on your social media how much that would expand in your dog's stomach is pretty
Right.
eye-opening, kind of.
No, yeah, exactly. And in the dog, for us, everything is about gut health. It's like us humans, with the dog stuff. It's really aligned. Our systems is kind of the same. But I mean, we're herbivores and carnivores. They're strictly carnivores. Um, so their system differs as far as the belly goes, but same thing, you get the good bacteria versus the bad bacteria, and then they all gotta live coincide simultaneously and harmoniously. So we try to make sure that they do that, and by doing that, the raw food is the one that's the way to go.
That's nuts because like kibbles is like branded as one of the best out on the market commercial
Right,
wise, huh?
right. Yeah, so the kibble, that's why there's a long history. Kibble been out so long, and the basically I'll give you the short end of the history that came out in like say the 1800s.
Oh
Sprats
wow.
came out with one wheat flour biscuit. Basically, they came out with wheat flour, some beets and blood, and shucks, I cannot think of it right now. But yeah, so he came out with it, and basically it evolved into kibble. And what they was doing at that time, well, it was bringing out like horse meat, for
Oh,
at that time with the raw, I mean with the wet food. So while they was making kind of like on kibble, they came out with some wet food, and basically it was horse meat. And at that time, World War II basically came along and they took away tin cans, so the tin cans shortage made them go to bags of dog food instead of the tin can, and that made the kibble industry get to the next level with the high pressurizing kibble, and that's basically used from what do you call that? Rendered proteins, and rendered proteins is basically just powdered. They take the meat and they take the unedible part of the meat that and they take that and they turn that into powder, and that's basically how they make the kibble. The protein from the kibble gets made from
wow.
that. Yeah, yeah. So
What
the processing comes from it is not the best way.
one thing I notice about having these conversations with you is how educated you are in the whole thing, bro. You go in deep, bro. You learn about this stuff, huh?
Yeah, yeah, and there's a lot of people with the education, but I mean, the good thing about the internet right now, that there's a lot of education out there to learn and to grow from it. And one thing is good is the dog breeding industry kind of grew to where everybody can kind of learn from each other, learn and grow. So yeah, but there's a few right now. The raw industry is very new. It's old, but it's new to a lot of the some of the people understanding because a lot of the vets, they're not behind the raw movement. So we got that kind of like that counterbalance versus the vets versus I guess the raw movement.
Yeah,
It kind of yeah, it's a hard because we don't want to go against the vets and say, oh, the vets don't know what they're talking about. But vets are not nutritionists, and they don't have that nutritional um background that a actual nutritionist would have to say,
yeah.
yeah, it's not good for your dog and why. All they can say is the bacteria that's put into you is not good for it. But like I said, we counter that by feeding other stuff like pumpkin, raw pumpkin. That's a natural. It helps for worming and
Oh,
yeah, yeah. So it's a natural dewormer and stuff like that. So it helps. So there's a lot of stuff that we can add to it, as far as fruits and vegetables, fiber, and all that to help wash out whatever bad bacteria that you think is there. So
that's
yeah,
nuts. And like
yeah.
you said, bro, vets, they're not, bro, just like doctors. Vets get kickback. They endorse pedigree or put that, and you know they making money off of that. They're not going to endorse
Hillside
something
diet is
that,
the number one.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, so since you brought it up, Hill Science Diet is a number one, and Hill Science, Hill Science, the Hills people family, they they do have one of to become a vet. You do have one, I think it's one semester that you do have to take, or one class that you have to take for nutrition. And Hill Science family is the ones that back that class. So yeah, there's a monopoly. I don't know. I'm not in the room like that, but from the outside in, I mean, there is a I don't believe in coincidences like that. So
yep, me neither. And
yeah, yeah.
doctors,
So there's a
doctors are
reason.
the same, bro.
Well, you go. That's
Yeah,
why there's different. This in the doctor world, in our doctor world, in the human, there's specialty doctors. The hard part with the vet world, there's not specialty doctors. There's
yeah,
doctor that does surgeries and does other internal stuff, but there's nobody that specializes on one thing. Other than there's like usually like see a nose, throat, and eye doctor. You get eye doctors out there that does that even for dogs, but not really a nutritionist doctor where you can go and just oh they're gonna speak to you about nutrition and what's best for your dog. So I
yeah.
think with the raw movement and all that, I think it's going to bring out a lot of different conversations at least, and it's going to put a lot of different stuff on the table that to people to really look at and say, wait a minute, it is making a difference. And like I said, I speak from experience. I've been feeding my dogs raw for over 20 years, so I'm not just talking for the last 3 years. It's been over time, and I got a 14-year-old girl in the yard right now that runs around all day in the yard to show for it. Yeah, yeah.
So what made you switch and what got you prompted to be like, oh shoot, I gotta try and give my dog this kind of food versus like the
I mean,
store-bought
like I
stuff?
said, long time ago when we was kids, is just trying to get that little better edge from the dogs. There wasn't nothing really supplemental or anything like that that we could change our dogs' look other than just straight DNA. I mean, not DNA, but the straight bloodlines basically. So you have the dogs looking all the same. It's like, okay, how can we switch up our dogs? And just kind of going through it. I didn't even know how it really started, but I started feeding them raw chicken. Um, I think I started reading about the marrow more. It came from the marrow and in the chicken bone more. And there's a big myth that dogs cannot eat bones. Dogs can eat bones, but they cannot do it. They cannot eat cooked bones because the cooked bones become splintered bones and it becomes shardy and it starts breaking down differently. It doesn't, and with the chicken bone, it's a lot more softer. You can when you go with one chopping knife, you can chop up basically one chicken bone a lot easier, and it's going to act a lot different to when you're cooking it.
Mm.
So that's basically how I started feeding chicken. But then as we evolve, I learned that fowl is one of the highest with allergies that come along with it. And it's because of all of the stuff that they pump into them, the carbs and the all that the whatever extra stuff. I don't know what they like I said, I don't ever want to speak on what they put in there because I'm not there. You can read them up, but I know they put in foreign stuff in there for preserve your the chicken so you can
Yeah.
put it in and be edible for us because our stomachs are keen to what they feed us. It's not keen to what we eat. We're not supposed to be eating that kind of
Oh
um
yeah.
meaning back in the day, we ate farm to table. Like a lot of people that eat farm to table, they cannot really eat the processed food like we eat. They don't
Oh
get sick,
yeah.
and vice versa.
People.
Like live next to a kosher family that was kosher, and I learned and that was a big thing. I learned about kosher meals and like they don't let nothing touch each other. They don't let proteins touch each other. They don't let nothing touch our food at all, any processed food at all.
Oh
Barbecue, they used to
wow.
come with their own barbecue to my house and bring their own barbecue. So they don't want to even touch my barbecue. Yeah, yeah. It's because of our food is so processed that it's not good for us.
That's true, Brian. I kind of stopped eating fast food, and then once in a while I'll eat a fast food something, and oh, bro, that night is rough because, or
Because
I
all
could
the
just be getting older.
little bit of both. I would suspect a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, we chalk it up to a little bit of both, right? Because you don't ever want to say it's 100%, but a little bit of both. But even with that McDonald's, I mean, I used to always think, oh, the guy used the bathroom 4 times a day. He's got a good system. But then I realized, no, it's what you're eating does not is not your body is not absorbing it because there's no nutritional value. So it's just coming in and going out. You
Yeah.
know? So now I started paying. That's why I said my brother was one of them. He eat. I use the bathroom. Like, okay, so I started really paying attention to that kind of stuff. It's like, wait, then look what you eat. Oh, you eat McDonald's, and it's like, hey, do you ever try to eat one vegetable? See if they even works different. He's like, I ain't eating that. Well, it tells you why your system is being like that. But I was always like, again, you're knocking them out, but you're not absorbing nothing nutritional. So where's
Yeah.
the value in all that food? Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I just recently started about a month already. Kind of after I talked to you guys, I started a carnivore diet.
Yeah, yeah,
Bro, I went from 161. I weighed myself this morning. I was 145. Like,
nice.
bro, it's a trip. I feel healthy. I feel young. I can see my abs again. I was like, oh,
Wow,
okay.
taekwondo weight
Yeah,
again,
yeah. We're going to fight pretty soon.
eh?
But just diet matters, bro. And I feel like my skin feels cleaner and all that. And
Yes,
it matters. I don't know how long I'm gonna stay on it. It was a trial for something I'm doing at work, but bro,
right,
it's been working and I feel good. I test my blood, all my levels is all perfect. And
right,
bro, I was like, something happens the way humans eat or dogs or anything, bro.
right.
Is just life. That's you are what you eat. That's the saying,
Or
huh?
what you that peanut, the little
Yeah,
peanut guy used to walk around. You are
yeah,
what you eat from your head up to your feet. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
just that's kind of how I mean, and don't get me wrong here. I'm not the best eater either because I'm trained already. You know what I
yeah,
mean? I'm into the way I eat, and I'm a creature of habit. I'm a human being. We creatures of habit. So we gonna eat the same things over and over again. But like the thing is I crave McDonald's. I don't even really like McDonald's, but I crave it because what they get inside of it. You know what I mean? They're like,
yeah.
hey, come down. And you don't even see McDonald's commercials on the TV anymore because they
Oh
don't need to
yeah.
do commercials. Back in the day, you'd see McDonald's commercials almost every other commercial. Now they don't even have to advertise.
Yep. Yeah, that's
Trust
true.
me, they got us already. You know,
Yep.
what I mean? It's already in our DNA, right? It's stamped.
It's nuts because I saw like this thing on Instagram where the old McDonald's and you probably remember the one Kanye had the playground, had
Oh,
all the characters,
oh,
was all nice and like kid friendly. Now you look at them, look like one office, like one
yes.
office building. You go in there, touch one huge iPad and out comes your food. Yep. Exactly. It's nuts, bro.
Thank you for my meal. No,
Yo,
like everybody's story, but I had one truck that was basically sitting for like 10 years, right? And I'm going to truck, but the only thing was looking in the interior. Had them pack of French fries from there, bro. Pull them out. The buggers never. Obviously, the thing that tape wouldn't feel, but would look exactly the same as it did was coming up. Just never have salt was wilted, obviously, but
yeah.
never have no mold, no browning, no bro, nothing. Like
Wow.
what's gonna last that long in one truck? Humidity, yeah, humidity out. The whole interior was all moldy, but that French fry
Was
was
legit.
legit.
That's pretty
Literally,
nuts,
I could
bro.
have throw back in the deep fryer and probably throw some salt, and you wouldn't even know the difference. You know what I mean? But it's like, hey, they got something. So again, it's a robotic world.
Yo.
Monkey see, monkey do world. It's not even about taste anymore.
Oh yeah.
It's about posting, and we talked about earlier about the Instagram. It's about posting and where's the next best and hottest thing, right?
Yo.
This and who's doing that. So us we just try to fit into that somewhat of that mode as best we can.
Yo. To get back to your raw dog food, so you've been feeding your dog well before you starting this company, raw dog food.
Right, right. Well before, and then I was just basically what I'll do is I'll get them from the store at first, and then maybe the last, and that was the first probably, yeah, I was up until 10 years, yeah, 5 years ago I started getting from farms around here. Big Island, they'll send me a lot of venison, so I had a good hook up with my friend. He had a eradication um permit, so they'll get order from Molokai.
Oh yeah.
They'll send them. But no, then Maui's fires when hit
Mm.
and all the supply had to get sent to Maui, which I'm like, okay, cool, but I couldn't sustain now. I couldn't feed my dogs, and I wasn't really selling at the time. I was just basically bringing some in. Some people would buy from me, but it was mostly for my dogs. So I was buying for my dogs and feeding that, grinding them, mixing them, doing all that kind of good stuff. And venison is a good, very good protein for the dogs. Very
Mm.
lean, very
No
good.
fat, huh?
Yeah, yeah, very good source. So the dogs do well on that. But again, went to Maui and again, I couldn't go and say, yeah, no, I need to. Sure. And then, so I went back kind of like the store route. I was going to like the store, Richard's Meats and all that, trying to get. But again, the meat isn't the quality of meat I found is just not. Then I started doing research, more research about how the coloring of the meat and how they get the coloring and all that,
Oh,
and learning that they started pumping again all these stuff, all these the meats with all these extra preservatives and additives that again our bodies is rejecting. So um I was like, okay, how can I get the best out of my dog stuff and get this stuff? So I started looking around, and there's a few places here that does it, that has raw dog food, locally. And I reached out to their farm, and I didn't get the touchy feelies I needed from them. So I started reaching out to different farms, and I found this guy at Foundation Raw. His name is Rich DeBerry out in Louisiana.
oh
Um,
wow.
He's a Presa Canario breeder, and he's a breeder just like me. And I watched his video, I'm like, it seemed like I was watching me out in the South. The way he talks about his dogs, what he does with the dogs, you know, just how he carries himself. So I'm like, in this world, it's all about character and how with the internet, which who we attach ourselves to is who we become, right? It's like you are what you
Yeah.
eat, like you are who you follow almost, right? Or who you
Yeah.
comment on. So no, his character and everything like that kind of lined up with me, and I was like, hey, Rich, I'm coming down Louisiana. He's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. The last 10 guys said that too. And I went down. Hey, I'm here. He was like, what? You here? I'm like, I'm here, bro. I'm here from Hawaii. So, yeah, I went down there and met with him and just kind of did one shake hand deal. I said, I want to bring your food to Hawaii. I've been watching you and I love what you do. And he was like, I'm on board. Let's go.
Oh
He's
shit.
super solid guy. Like I said, super customer service driven. He helps out. His videos is basically like mine. And I never seen the guy's video up in 6 months ago. So again, my videos kind of align with his, and just the way we talk, and again what we're trying to do and how we're trying to produce our with our breeding programs, and this kind of just fell in line with it. His blends was to me top notch as far as the blends and what's in it. and just the food itself. You can smell the difference, you can see the difference. Um, but yeah, it's a touchy-feely thing. And my dogs, every one of my dogs and every one of dogs I ever heard is like, I mean, they eat pretty fast, but this they slurp them up. My dogs cry, literally. They don't cry for any other food. They cry for this, like literally cry. No, yeah, it's
Oh,
funny.
that's nuts.
Yeah,
So you have a partnership with that guy. He kind of sends you the meat
I'm
in its
I'm
raw, or
yeah, yeah. So I'm just a distributor. I guess I'm the yeah, I'm a local, I mean, I'm the Hawaii distributor, so I get the whole
okay.
Hawaii. So basically I went up there and asked him if I can have Hawaii, and I'll distribute all this out here. He said, yeah, no problem. So yeah. And what he does is ship it. We frozen, so it's the hardest part about raw meat, you gotta ship them frozen.
Yeah.
So the shipping alone gets kind of pricey. Put it this way, the shipping is almost 50% of what the actual cost of the food is.
Oh
Because
wow.
when they got, it comes from deep out there in the Midwest, and they got to truck it to California. So they truck it to California in a frozen box. From California, I get my guy out there, picks him up and puts him in a frozen container, in a frozen container, and ships it out to the dock here, and then we go pick
Oh
them up.
wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
so
there's
you're getting big shipments at a time then.
we get a pallet at a time, which is
Oh wow.
2,300 pounds. So yeah, yeah,
And
which is
what
a
what
lot. It's a lot. It's 70. Yeah, we get 2 pound chubs. It's thousand something chubs.
oh and what once it's on the island, you don't have to keep it frozen or
Oh no, no, yeah. I get freezers that freeze them. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
oh
So it's a whole issue. I rotate them. So there's a rotating. I get freezers with temperature, what do you call it, thermometers hooked up to Wi-Fi, and
oh
so
wow.
monitoring temperatures. Yeah, I get commercial freezers that I keep them in. And
Oh,
again,
that's
it's
super cool.
rotating. But one thing has been good is I've been kind of it's been kind of moving, so we haven't been having to really keep them too long.
Oh,
So
that's good.
which is a blessing. Yeah, I cannot complain. Um, it's moving thanks to your kind of your podcast. The last time you said it's one in 20 people, the way I see it, right? You tell 20 people, one person, 20 people, he's gonna tell 20 people. So
Yeah,
um
for sure.
platforms like yours really helps us out.
Oh, right on. And so, oh, that's kind of a lot you've been shipping in. Like, how often the shipments come in?
We had so it's about a month and a half so far.
Oh,
Each
wow.
year, yeah. But it's kind of stressful, so it's because it's frozen meat. I mean, it's stress. And for me, I'm a little bit Portuguese. I kind of like, and I gotta learn to just but it's like it's frozen meat. So, but one thing is great about the shipping is super professional. These guys, these truck drivers and all that, they know what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So call me on the road. Hey, I'm over here. So every stop they call me up, let me know, send me pictures. So it's a good little team that the Barry gave me. So basically, Rich gave me his guy. His guy takes it to California, and then I get one guy in California that brings it here. So it's a again great team that I'm blessed with.
Oh, that's super cool. So
Yeah.
for the food itself, what is inside the chub that you guys giving out, or is it different? Do you have variety?
Yeah, so we get a couple of different blends. Right now we're going to stick to three blends. Three blends is one of them is heritage blend, and basically it's all beef blends. They all
Okay.
they're all beef muscle meat basically. Um, So they get it's 80-10-10. They call them the blends. You get the muscle meat and some tissue in there, and then you get 10% of secreting organs, and then you get 10% of bone. So you get spleen, you get kidneys in there, you get liver, you get bone. The bone is for calcium. So
Okay.
bone is for calcium. The meat is for amino acids and the protein. The ground bone is for the calcium. The liver and gives you vitamin A and it's for help for immune function. Um, and for oxygen support with some iron along with iron.
Oh,
And the
okay.
kidneys provide selenium and iron, again, more iron too for the overall support. But what also does is it helps with their teeth, it helps with their fur, it helps with all of that stuff too. Oh, and then we get one of them has tripe. Green tripe is a probiotic basically.
Oh,
Green tripe is great for gut. They call them gut resets. And what happens is a lot of these dogs get inflamed like allergies and all that. And a lot of the trait helps reset their guts. And then we have pollock in there. So pollock is a fish, basically codfish that we would eat in, like, a lot of cod in the fish and chips that we would eat. But that helps with the amino acids and all, I mean the amines and fatty acids. So yeah,
Oh, wow.
three things you need is fat, fiber, and protein for your meal. And then from there also add like fruits, some blueberries,
Oh,
antioxidants. I add about 1%. So it's like that you gotta put that's the kind of stuff we gotta monitor, make sure. Throw a couple of those in there. Again, green beans, good for fiber, stuff.
yeah.
So yeah, there's additives we put in there, or I put in there, natural stuff that helps with all of that good stuff. And then pumpkin. Pumpkin is on great. So if your dog is sick, your dog not feeling well, you think your dog is worm, it's a natural, again, wormer that will help again reset their gut and kind of give them gut health.
We're just raw pumpkin.
100% organic pumpkin in the can. The canned pumpkin is the pureed one.
Oh, okay, okay. That makes
Yep,
sense.
yep. You feed them, give them one dollop of that daily, and you can see a difference with the raw, along with some of the fruits like I talked about, and with some of the other stuff with some pumpkin in there. You can see some energy level difference, like I said, the fur, teeth, and that helps with the overall health. Like I've always said, if me and you, like we talk about McDonald's, I mean, eating McDonald's is out. See, you ate McDonald's for the first 15 years of our life. We're not gonna feel them at 25. We're not gonna feel them at 30. We're gonna feel them at 40, or
Yeah.
45, 50. Like now we're gonna start feeding them. Kind of with these dogs, they're like, oh my, my dog, he's good on the kibble. Yeah, he's good, but when he gets older and when you have the vet once a month because his teeth is decaying because of the kibble. Like that's why we soak the kibble. You take on kibble. Like I challenge everybody, take the kibble. You try putting a hammer to that thing, bro. That thing is super solid. Super solid. Imagine your teeth. Imagine you chewing. That's like chewing on corn nuts. You know what I mean? Corn nuts
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
That's like eating corn nuts all the time. That was outlawed in my house. My mom was like, no, that thing gonna break your teeth. You're not eating
Yeah.
those. It's
I
because of
remember those.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And corn
Halloween,
has
yeah.
nutritional value. Yeah, normal nutritional value, bro. So
Yeah.
salted hard corn, bro.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of stuff. So same with the dogs. It's I try to help gut. For me, gut health is number one. And when they talk about we breed for health, yeah, you can breed for health. That doesn't mean your dog gonna stay healthy.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
breed a healthy dog and still can become sick by whatever you feed them. So
Yeah.
there's a big misconstrued with all of that too, with that part. So I try to educate along with show by experience of what
Yeah.
we do over here.
So what, you never tried chance one of these chubs, like fry them up and try to taste them?
Ooh, let's say, is that a yes or no question? I did. So I do well. I can tell you, I eat what I did was I make treats out of them. I make meatball
Yeah.
treats. Right? So I did sample them a little bit. Very gamey. Very gamey. For me,
Oh.
I'm a processed guy, bro. I like gaminess, but I'll eat a bison burger, but the thing is on the spectrum, you know what I mean? But this burger is gamey. So but no, there's nothing in there that's not what it is again it doesn't have we cannot say what nutritional value it has for a human,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
And because we are a whole different animal,
yeah,
like we are regulated by the FDA.
yeah.
So for them they got to put all this stuff. But again, they don't put 90% of our labels we can't even read.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
why the number one about this, like you talk about the chub, like you get one right here, and I know it's backwards, but labeling is number one. Um, there's a there's a what you call. So we get calorie count on here. We get feeding guidelines, basically the distribution. We get the guaranteed analysis, and then the ingredients, and then we get them like four times. You know what I mean? A lot of people
oh,
you see some labels they get them one small over here in the corner, and they
yeah,
get
yeah,
their nice label all big with nice picture of their dog over there. Oh, yummy, yummy.
yeah,
But again, these stuff is in fine print, and it's like,
yeah,
oh man. So again, one of the reasons why I went with these guys is because of the labeling. There's nothing to hide,
yeah.
and you talk to the guy himself. I'm not talking to the guy that's talking to the guy that's talking to the guy, and that's why I said I met a few people that, oh, you feed your dogs this? Well, not we don't feed them that. We feed them other things. Huh?
Uh,
Oh,
yeah.
How come you don't feed dogs this? Like, why are you not feeding them stuff that you're claiming that you're raising cattle? Uh,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So it's like the labeling again. Labeling is key for everything for me as far as that goes. But no, I did try them. A little bit gamey for me. Try 'em
But
again.
for dogs, you were explaining last time you came on, they can eat raw, like raw meat, raw dog food, or I mean anything raw that you're supplying. You're not cooking them first, huh?
No, yeah. So when you cook it, when we cook our stuff, like say you cooking say a hamburger, get nutrition in there. When you cooking all that water and all that runoff, we burning out the nutrients, some of the nutrients in there. So
Yeah.
say I don't know the numbers, but say you had 100% nutrients when you was cooking them. Now you probably only get, I would say 50% because the rest goes down the drain. So
Yeah.
with the raw, you have all that, the nutritional value still packed in there. Um, so that's kind of why you rather have them raw. And then the bones. Like I said, the bones have the marrow in the bones. The dogs cannot get salmonella. Now, I wouldn't
Oh,
recommend. There is times where you cannot like this chubs can last 3 to 5 days in the fridge, right?
okay.
But anything after that, I mean, dogs won't get sick if they eat bad food. They can get sick. They can get sick, but they cannot get salmonella. Like we can
Yeah.
get salmonella by eating raw stuff. But I gotta
Yeah.
tell everybody, when growing up, my grandfather used to eat raw beef, bro. And you just sprinkle lemon on them and thinly sliced beef. You know what
Oh
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
Beef
Yeah.
tartare. What is beef tartare?
Yeah,
Is raw beef.
exactly.
So it's like,
Is
and
that
that's a
sorbo eat the UK and just crack the raw egg and mix them up? Yeah, I would mop that too.
oh yeah. So there it's but again, we was trained, just like with the kibble, we was trained to do this because we saw the last person doing this. We saw the people that we trusted growing up doing this because they knew that's all they knew. So
Yeah.
in that at that time, again, the kibble industry was taking off 1900s. So everybody was pumping, making money off of that. So I mean, that's all you knew.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, the tin cans got outlawed or only
Yeah.
going in things. So now paper bags and it okay, I cannot sell meat anymore. And the horse, now we'll go back to the horse. Horse don't even have nutritional value either. So feeding a
Oh,
dog horse was nothing. They just had abundance of them.
it's
So yeah,
just
it's
easier.
easy.
People
It's
pay
all
for
about the
convenience and they don't care
people.
about the, yeah.
And the people behind it don't mind taking your money to
Oh
be
yeah.
enough for you, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So that's what hot dogs and all
Yeah.
that came from hamburger.
Bologna and all that
Yeah,
shit.
that's where you
Yeah.
take all that convenience, right? Well, we could do all
Yeah.
that. Somebody gonna eat it. Like I've always
Yeah.
said, in the breeding world, there's a dog for everybody. Well, I don't eat bologna. I've never got the like Vienna
Yeah.
sausage. Never. My brother didn't pound them. I'm like, I never just like was just weird to me. That's
Me
mystery.
too, bro. Bologna, I cannot
Oh,
bologna. The
God. And then how do
smell,
you
everything, bro. Yeah.
how do you get that ring around? Like, how do you even get that thing to even be there? That
Yeah.
means the thing started off with liquid, brother.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what happened. You cannot put a solid piece in there and just wrap something around it. It
Yeah.
started off with liquid and it,
Yo.
oh, bro, that's why I'm out, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't care if you fry them or what, bro. You still don't know what that is, bro.
no. And like I laugh, everybody like, oh, how come you love ketchup so much? I'm like, because I grew up on processed food. I grew up on hamburger
Yeah.
helper. You grew up on
Oh,
hamburger
yeah.
helper. So like
Fuck yeah. Sloppy
the only
Joes
thing I
all
like was
day.
ketchup. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was my masking, bro. I was like, so now it's like ketchup on everything. Just tastes better at this point. But again, we was trained that way.
Yeah. Um, I had a question about if you had a dog and your dog was on regular like kibbles or whatever food, how is it to switch them over to raw? Do you got to do it like transitionally, or one time you can just cut them and then give them the raw food and gonna be all right? Or
Transitional. You do about 10% a day. Like I
oh,
tell
okay.
everybody, what I tell everybody when they first try my food, I tell them it's called the meatball technique. Basically, I take a meatball and give them to the dog when during the day when he's not eating nothing. Because again, that you just never know how the dog reacts. And one thing you touched on earlier about your skin. So skin, fur, teeth, all that tells you how healthy your dog is and the
Yeah.
reactions of your dog. So you can give him meatball, and if you don't see no reaction, you continue with that. I'll give him two meatballs. You don't see nothing, give him three. Boom, and
Oh,
then the next
okay.
3, 4 days. By that 3, 4 days, you should be able to transition them.
Oh,
Some
okay.
people say a week, and you can a week, but it all depends on your dog. Again, if within 3 days you're gonna see the difference. You're gonna see the dog's not gonna do well, or the dog's gonna do a little bit better on it. So
Oh, that's super cool.
yeah, yeah. So I try to transition them that way, and I look, I try to tell everybody, I'm not here to tell everybody, do not feed kibble. You know what I mean? I'm not
Yeah,
that
yeah,
guy. I'm not
yeah,
here, I'm not that guy to tell you what to feed your kids. All I'm here to
yeah,
tell you is 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, whatever percent you're feeding them is just much more nutritional value that you're adding. That's all it's going. What if it's a topper at 10%? You're adding more nutritional value. Like I've said
yeah.
on one of the videos, if you're just eating McDonald's, that's why McDonald's put apples in their Happy Meals, right? You ever tried those apples? It's not even bad. I'm like, bro, it's like what kind of chemical you put in this thing with? But the FDA said that they had to add nutritional value to their food.
Yeah.
Throw some apples in that darn thing. And again, I do not, I do not recommend you trying those apples, bro.
Bruh,
Just
I trip out because I cut up apples just last weekend for my
right,
daughter's volleyball tournament. And by the time we was halfway through the tournament, I grabbed the apples. It was all brown
right, right,
because they was exposed, oxidized, or whatever.
right.
Those McDonald apples in the little packet stay nice and yellow all the way until you
Area,
eat them. Yup,
brand new.
exactly. And I don't know how they doing them, but they
It's a
spraying them
package.
with something. Yup.
But it goes back to that French fry, bro.
Yeah,
It's a preservative. Again, there's certain people get away with certain measures, and
yeah,
again, that's a whole nother conspiracy way. But they're a
yeah,
big entity in the U.S. world. They bring a lot of revenue, so I
yeah.
mean, they can
And
kind of
it's
do what they want to do.
and
Yeah,
like you said, like we said, fast food is convenient, bro. No need cook. You know, you go to the store, you just go over there, stop on the way home, and you good. The
yeah.
so the raw food is gaining popularity. What are like, is it feasible to switch over? Like, say is it way more expensive, or like you can work it out?
What I've found, it's depend. It all depends. It is more expensive. It is a little more expensive. Just like if you talk to one vegan or one vegetarian, they're gonna tell you that
Yeah.
their food bill is triple what a regular person
Yep.
is. And
Yep.
if it's not, it's only if I'm as much as them, it's because I'm eating more McDonald's, eating more outside food. But yeah, it's because of that value. So but yeah, so that's it. The cost is the one, and that's why I always push like, hey, if you're adding a little bit, this is a little bit better for the dog. But I'm a firm believer that people overfeed their dogs and they don't
Ooh.
understand the ratio of their dog. It's the grandma to the grandchild. They say, "Oh boy, you look skinny, boy."
Yeah.
I mean, and they don't understand like your dogs. Like there's a measurement on your hand, basically your knuckles that shows this knuckles rate, I don't know if you can really see them, but your ribs not supposed to show like this. The ribs supposed to be more like you're supposed to see some ribs. Your skin's supposed to feel like it's on the top of here. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And tight like that. And not supposed to be saggy or
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
come with all the problems. But because we look at the bag and we say, okay, it's like, oh, the bag says we gotta feed him 3 cups a day. That's what he gotta eat because he's gonna starve. Right. The dog is like on kid. The more you feed him, the more he's gonna eat.
Yep.
You constantly feed him, he constantly gonna eat. And that's what it's all about. Especially if I can, like I said, I can feed my dog till he dies. I mean, out
Yeah.
there, I'm not gonna ever do that, guys. I don't want, but I can basically do that. The dogs is gluttony. They're gonna eat like that, and they're gonna eat, and they don't understand this why because they're like the kids. So it's
Yeah.
up to us to regulate all of that. So when I first thing people say is, "Oh, what do you think about my dog?" I'm always ask you sure you want to ask that question? And I said, I'm gonna give you the real of what I think. I'm like, first of all, your dog is overweight. Oh, why is he overweight? I said, wait, hold on. I said, just look at it's supposed to have dogs supposed to have a figure, naturally have a figure, right? You're supposed to be able to see the hips and all of
Hmm.
that. Now, every body type is different, right? If your dog is big
Yeah.
boned, like an English bulldog, you don't see the ribs. Okay, that's where I'm trying to get at. English,
Yeah.
so it's a per body type. I want to explain right now. It's per body type, but just because the bag or somebody says this is what you got to feed your dog, it's you learn your dog over a month. You'll see your dog if you're feeding your dog less and the dog starts start skinnier. Well, just add more food. You're not starving your dog. You're not gonna kill your dog. But what you're doing is you're helping your dog get into that perfect metabolism to where he can keep the fat that he needs and shed the other fat that he doesn't need
Yeah.
because of the high metabolisms. And another thing I do is I fast my dogs once a week.
Oh,
And
for real?
yeah, some people think that's cruel. Oh, you get to animals and like it's gut reset again. Even for us, we supposed to. Look, Terry Crews speaks about fasting all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
He's older than us, bro.
Yeah.
What abs? That bug. It's his how he fasts and how he eats and how he stacks his meals. But I fast my dogs on Sundays on the weekends for gut recheck and gut reset. Knock out all the stuff. I feed them basically that day. I feed them like I'll feed them fruits and I'll feed them some pumpkin and all that, but they won't eat no raw any kibble or anything like that.
Oh.
And again, a gut reset. Then Monday we go back at it, and I feed them only once a day. So up into a year,
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm gonna break down 8 weeks up into we're gonna start from 8 weeks. 8 weeks they eat 4 times a day. 8 weeks up into about 12 weeks, 4 times a day. And then from and all every single time it's whatever they're eating, it's watered down. If it's kibble, because kibble, the puppies need the kibbles, some stuff in the kibble the puppies need. So I do feed puppies kibble along with some other with the raw. I start my raw in 4 weeks, my dogs. 4 weeks
Okay.
old, start raw. Um, so I add them with the kibble. And at 8 weeks, like I said, 4 times. 12 weeks, 3 times. From 12 weeks to about I would say about 16 weeks, about 4 months, it's 3 times, and then we come down to 2 times from 6 months up into a year. It's only 2 times, and then once they hit about a year, we get them down to one time a day. But again, that's the gauge. It's all depends on their body type and what
Yeah.
kind of dog they are and all that. So, but most of them is all in line with all of that, and we do well on it. My dogs do well, and I have a lot of them over here. So, I'm not talking about one, two dogs. We're talking about better of 10 that I can gauge that from all different ages, and they all do the same. They all do well.
Well, that makes sense too. And like feasible wise, if you only feed them once a day, if they get to that level, then it'll work out probably cheaper or just as good. You know what I mean? Just as much.
I spend if I'll do them, if I'll be buying on the outside, I'll probably it's probably about say I spend $100 on a dog a month, feeding
Okay.
whatever. But for the food, say that it's probably only about 140, maybe 150. You know what I mean? So it's not that much. It seems like a lot, but it's not that much if we really put it outside and think of it as like, that's my family member. Well, if that's
Yeah.
your family member, you can budgetize
Exactly.
your family
Yeah.
member another $50 a month. Now
Yeah.
I get if you cannot, there's other ways to do it. With fruits and all that, you can always add nutritional value some other way. But you can't just say, oh, I only can feed pedigree because I can afford.
Yeah.
Well, if you can't feed them, don't breed them or don't buy
Yep.
them. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because again, you're not gonna just you don't make kids just for feed them McDonald's, even though these
Yeah.
dogs like me McDonald's, but you want to add value to these dogs because again, you're gonna end up in the vet's
The
office
vet. Yep.
and then you want to.
And like you said, they are a member of your family. You're not going to feed your kids crap. Well, some people do, but you're not going to purposely feed your kids crap. And yeah, it's like I've been having those talks with my daughter because she's an athlete. It's like, okay, you gotta stop eating this kind of stuff before you go sleep. You get on bag Skittles and then you go sleep. Well, you think all that sugar and go. Like you
Right?
gotta think about this kind of stuff now. It's not and um that was the thing. That's what got me to do this diet. She's like, "Oh, you don't got abs." Like, "Oh,
Oh,
I seen your picture when you used to fight, and you look like Bruce Lee, but now look, you
whew,
get on." And it's okay, challenge accepted. Then you
shots
can put
fired,
me on.
man.
Yeah, that's the worst thing you can do is try and challenge my discipline because when I turn it on, it's on.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's the same, bro. And that's why I'm so intrigued about how you are doing this because of the value of nutrition in everything. Because, bro, it matters. And like you said, the dogs become your family. If you like your family around, then you gotta feed them the good stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it. And I think the difference between us and a lot of or some of the other dog food out there, nobody's educating. They're just putting their dog food. on the in the stores and hoping people
Yeah.
buy them. I'm out here trying to educate and making sure. I mean, even though if you don't go with us or not, if you with another raw dog food company, I'm all hey, as
Yeah.
long as you're taking care of dogs, I'm all for it. I'm here to push the whole community forward. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not here to take away from nobody. It's the education is key, and that's how we can come better as a whole, no matter what.
Yeah, and that's what I was super stoked about talking to you was how educated you are on this stuff, and it's cool, bro. It's cool to see local Kaneohe boys like diving into something they're passionate about and learning. A lot of our friends don't want to put in the work to
Right.
learn and be able to talk and spit on what can make changes because it's like, oh, I heard this, I heard that. It's like, bro, I can hear a lot of things get so much bro science out there that you don't know
Bro,
what's real. And then you dove in and did it the right way. And now like if people come to you with questions, they say this, and this, or this is why, this is how. Then I did it myself. So now I get hands-on experiences. It's kind of cool to see, bro. It's cool to see one of my friends doing that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like that's fucking cool. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I love it. Again, at the end of the day, it's a passion, and sometimes passion kind of overflows as a little bit of maybe I don't know if to say arrogance, but a little bit of pushiness, or sometimes a little bit of like,
Yeah.
oh, this guy. But my I get two peas in me, my passion and my Portuguese. You know what I mean? That I cannot turn off, bro. There's some two things that coincide and cannot turn off. I think I was a project manager and estimator for. I started when I was 23 years old. I started from a painter in the union, and I was like, now I'm painter. I love painting. Don't get me wrong, I loved it because of just the tranquility and just you looking back and like, oh, I did that, like the beautification of something, and I really
Yeah.
loved it. And I stuck in the industry, but I became a project manager estimator. So I still was that blue collar guy, but in a white collar seat. So and I had to be a certain guy, and I have to explain why I'm the best candidate for to build to go build and paint your big $1 million high rise or whatever it is. So I think I brought some of that over. I'm not gonna say professionalism, but some of that just a little bit of the education that I gotta have to sit and talk intelligently in front of a crowd and about your product and be like and stand behind it. Because a lot of people just standing over there and reading off a teleprompter and say, okay, was I good? Did I do good? And wow, like, okay, and they're not preaching what they're doing. Like I said, I get um the dogs to show for it that and but yeah, that's
That's cool.
yeah.
And since you've been running this program, you've been being able to distribute your dog food in stores and stuff all over the island, or they just people just order online?
So my goal is to be a distributor for the stores. And what I first when I first came out, it was kind of an identity crisis because how do I push my stuff forward when I just can put them in the stores and try to start from there?
Yeah.
So one thing is good is it was again I'm blessed for have right off the bat like the first week Pet Depot in Eva Beach, Ryan over there. We dealt with Ryan on a few occasions as far as dog shows went. So we kind of had a relationship already. But I'll call him up and he's like, yeah, bring him down. Let me check it out. Took him down to him. He see actually I sent him to my website. Because what I did is I built the website, did everything, and then I'll present that. I said, I have a website, check out not the kind of hey yeah, it goes go look at the other guy. So I check out my website, like your website already. I said, so I had my website before the food even landed. Yep, got everything right there. So he go check out, he's like, oh, I love so he basically loved what I loved, saw what I saw, the labeling, just kind of the backing, and then he can go look on the Foundation Raw Rich the Berry's website, like, bro, I see the movement. I see kind of what they're doing, and he just kind of bring them on. And he has a few other raw people in there, but yeah, we're doing. I mean, it's uphill climb, but we're moving our stuff in there. We also get them in Enchanted Lakes in Kailua. Another
Okay.
guy, Garrett, he was um blessed us to have it in his store, and then West Side Supply in Waianae. We got him over there. So yeah, these guys been very. I've been blessed. The hard part again is being there. I don't want to be their competition.
Yeah.
I have a few customers that was there from the beginning. It kind of hit me up from the beginning. And when I first started the website, I put it out there like, hey, when they're coming in, let me know. So they jumped on board, but they don't buy much. So again, my goal is to just supply the stores and more stores out there, and I just can kind of be a distributor.
That's super good, bro. And you built your own website. Like you made your website.
I wish my wife was here, but I get on good, great partner that
Oh,
helps me with all that.
nice.
And my wife is a librarian up at she's the Hawaiian Studies librarian up at Winter Community College.
Oh,
So
wow.
she's very, very keen at it. But building a website, oh man, it's like top five of almost getting divorced. It's brutal, bro. It was hard. On this couch right back here, this couch can tell a tale. If you look at my videos, all my dogs on this couch, so this couch can tell a tale. We do a lot of work on this couch, but no, sitting over here every day and kind of going back and forth, because we're dealing with a couple people. So she built it, but we also we go on Fiverr and
Okay,
we
okay.
contacting somebody, but bro, and there's no translator on Fiverr, so you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's direct communication. So what we tell them, it's got to be translated into there. So it was an uphill battle. But no, compared to some of the other websites, would have cost us 2 grand. Fiverr and
Oh,
cost us
yeah.
like a couple hundred,
Yeah.
2 3 weeks, and the guy was there with us, but it was stressful. Yeah. So thanks to my wife,
Oh, that's
she helps
cool.
me out a lot. She helps me out a lot. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
super cool. And bro, that's something to be proud of. You know what I mean? And like you said, that's the first thing people do. .com, you hear in business.com, and then they check the Instagram. And
Yeah.
bruh, your Instagram, you like I said earlier when we first jumped on before we started recording, you turning into an one influencer social media guy, bruh. And bruh, you good in front of the camera, and it's yourself. Like you start singing, you start being, bruh, you're being Kaleo. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Well, it's hard, bro, because it's hard being in front of the camera because you're being critiqued. But no, yeah. So the goal is to just get better and find different ways and means that I can use this platform. And it all started off just from breeding dogs. You know,
yeah,
what I mean? I'm not going. I didn't want to say myself I'm a breeder. I breed dogs, but and I get family members as far as the dogs goes. But no, it's all started off with that basically, and like I get all these shirts, I get them done myself, these hats. So it all just branches off from that. Stickers, you know what I mean? And then I help people get that, and then people come to me and I sell shirts, I sell hats, sell stickers. So it's kind of yeah, it's kind of just all over the place, but it's all just branches off of one main branch, I guess, one main tree. But it's
yep.
lovely. I love it.
And with your social media, it's a ongoing marketing tool, you know what I mean? Like, and like you
Yeah.
said, you've been pretty consistent with it and it grows, you know what I mean? And that's how a lot of businesses get noticed nowadays. And social media is, it puts a personality and a connection with who's ever watching it. Like I
Right.
can watch you and then I meet you in person and be like, oh, bro, like you are just how you are. And then I've been watching your stuff for so long, then it's like you feel like that's your friend or something. You know what I
Right.
mean?
No,
Like,
yeah, just like me, I get some people I follow, like, yeah, they see me in public. Like
yeah,
shake his hand, but I don't like feel awkward. I'm like,
yeah,
can I shake
yeah,
his hand because I'm his friend, but I'm not his friend. I don't like he'd be like,
yeah.
hey, and I don't know if he's over there like, hey, that's the guy that like my stuff, eh? How come he now will come to say hi? So it's a kind of a weird vibe. You know what I mean? It's like, I know you ever.
Yeah, I had a couple people. This last guy I had, he's a barbecue guy and he's from Hawaii, but he moved to Montana.
Oh,
And
nice.
bruh, I've been watching this stuff, and this guy make lao lao, palusami, oxtail, all kind of weird, crazy stuff.
That's the
And
guys on Forged by Fire.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I freaking never I like his stuff, and once in a while he'll comment back, and then I had him on my show, and I say talking to this guy like I was his friend for a long time, and I was like, bruh, my daughter is like, bruh, how do you know that guy? I was like, I don't, I just met him. Like that was the first time I ever talked to him.
Right. Local
It's
boy
cool, but
style.
yeah, yeah, and like your local boy style relates to everybody here. And like I said, I know you. So I know when you're on Instagram, you're Kaleo. You ain't putting on this bullshit facade. Like you just being yourself. Yep, exactly. And
the camera on.
Yeah.
Is this
And
thing on?
it's growing, bro. Like you getting one following. And I think with the community you guys are developing, I was kind of tripping out. I didn't know it existed to that big a level, and you guys are building it. The guys you had on my show last time,
Right.
you guys are like heavy hitters because I was getting hit up by people saying, "Oh, I know this guy, I know that guy." I had dinner with my friends and his family, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I know that guy," and he calls him up while we eating dinner, and then he's saying, "Yeah, I'll come back on your show," and it's like, wow, you guys really have that community, and you guys are what how you guys preach. You guys all about sharing and family and building it, and bro,
Right.
those kind of stuff is pretty cool.
No, yeah. So all that is straight family events, and that's why I sponsor a lot of them. It's because of that. I like to just be in the with the family vibes, and just trying to push the community forward. Like you said, you know, we only one of us don't can do nothing. All of us together we can push everything forward. And
Yeah.
again, it's the education behind it. A lot of people don't even know that we even exist in this world. When I talk to people that are like, because I wear my hat, my Calico Frenchie's hat, they're like, what is that? How come you got a dog on your hat? So, oh, I said, go follow us. And they follow me. And then we'll be walking around Ross. Then 5 minutes later, come back. Hey, bro, I see this. I see it. Oh, from aunties, to uncles, I mean, to
Yeah.
kids, to then come back. And I always try to carry one sticker. And you just give them the sticker. You see them light up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, my wife's like, what, you think I'm a celebrity? I'm like, no, it's not about the celebrity. It's about they saw me on the video and they don't like my, and then this, like you just said, the
Yep.
authenticity of it.
Yep.
That's me right there. And that was hard, bro. If you look back at my old stuff, I couldn't. It's hard from the camera because again, because of the authenticity, I didn't want to look not authentic. Like right now, my wife would set me up with the fake background, my with my foundation raw, right? With the and I'm sitting over there, I'm like, look like a robot. I think I'm like, I told her, oh, I cannot do this. She goes, how come? I said, because I don't look authentic. I need to show you what I sit right here every day. This is my,
Yeah.
this is me right here. You in my living room. So I
Yeah.
need to, I like to be like that. And that's the only way I'll believe myself.
Yeah. And you always been like you is what you get, bruh. That's how it is, bruh, since we was little kids. It's little league days.
Woo, bro, I remember them days, some good old days.
Yeah.
The good old days.
But as a breeder, like you have your kennel, are you still breeding constantly right now? Like you putting out litters and stuff?
Now, for how I was the way I breed is I breed to get something. I breed for I'm not gonna say for a purpose, but I see two dogs. It's called phenotypes. Basically, I look up two dogs, and if I feel like I have something that I can move and advance, and then I'll put those together and I'll breed. Right now I'm not doing too much in-house breeding. I get co-owns that I'm
Oh,
mentoring, and once they get to a certain age, then we'll breed then. But I don't try to like a lot of people they just breed to keep themselves relevant or whatever the case may be for them. But for me, I again if I see like right now, there's some dogs that I see and once they mature, we're gonna put them together. I feel like we're gonna advance ourselves. So
mm,
I think we're onto something. I'm trying to build a bloodline, which a lot of people's not doing anymore. Back 10, 15 years ago, people would build bloodlines, meaning they're stacking their pedigrees and making sure that they get the best of the best phenotypes, genotypes, whatever you're looking for, but you're trying to build the best prototype of one dog that you're trying to do. And now it's not like that. So there's a phenotype compared to a genotype. And phenotype is the look of the dog, the stature, the head, the shoulder pieces, the bone, and all that, right? Then the genotype is just basically the color of the dog and the DNA of the
mm.
dog. So, a lot of people is more for the genotype right now, color. They're trying to get that exotic. Like I tell everybody, you getting one, candy apple red Ford Taurus. Just because it's got candy apple red, it doesn't mean it's anything. But
Yeah.
let alone a Jaguar, a
Yeah.
Jaguar is a Ford Taurus with a Jaguar emblem. So
Yeah.
it's what you get, right? But I try to make sure that again, I'm not gonna say I try to get the best out of the best, but I try to get the best out of what I have, uh,
Yeah.
and try to just do them like that. So I'm kind of early on in my pedigree building, but I'm pretty close to where I need to be. I said two more years, I should be exactly where I need to be.
And that's Kalako.
Calico, yeah.
Oh,
So I get
right
two. I get
on.
Frenchies and then I get bullies. So calico Frenchies, I try to separate them, and everybody, like, you should have kept them under bullies. I'm like, no, again, I try to be authentic because a Frenchie is not a bully. When you talk about one bully, so we're going to go on fast history of an American bully. American bully came from the old pit bull terrier. They took the old pit bull terrier, they took him to the English bulldog. They bred that.
Oh,
They added bone to that. They added a little bit, made different head. So you see a lot of them. You see a lot of them bullies now. They get wrinkly faces, real short snouts. So they wanted to add all that stuff. But with that is they brought in all the allergies and all the issues, hip issues, all that the English bulldog has. Um, but with that is they brought in a different color of chocolate, so that they unlocked another DNA LL in there. So that's basically why they did that. But then they started breeding them to the Frenchie to get them smaller. So now
mm.
you get smaller, more bigger, more exaggerated, more extreme dogs out there. So that's basically what the history of the bully is. So now they're just trying to perfect it. So that's kind of why I want to separate my bully brand from my Frenchie brand.
Oh, I see.
Stickers, totally different everything. But it's all under the color.
Oh, okay. So people can seek you out for that if once you start
Yep.
like producing litters and stuff.
Yep. You see me call Frenchies, and like I tell everybody, just ask if I was like everybody asks me, what's available? Just ask. If you like something on my page, you see, just ask. I try not to sell adult dogs because once I get the dog, once they're about 6 months, bro, they're my dog.
Yeah.
It's hard to
That's
even
family
even if that's
or
number 12, bro. It's hard. You feed them every day, you look them in the eye, I pet them. It's hard. So yeah, I was like, we supposed to breed them to sell them, and I'm like, yeah, we do. But again, I love these guys. My daughter and them love them, so it's
Oh,
I have
that
to
makes it way more hard too, once your
really
kids
hard.
get attached.
Yeah, my 9-year-old, she's all of them help me out. Like I fly my daughter down here from Vegas, a couple years ago, like the last 2 years for help whelping because whelping, see the little pool back
Yeah, yeah,
there.
yeah.
So that's where puppies was in a whelping. So you whelp and like I'll pay her. I pay her flight and I pay her $500 a week to whelp my dogs.
Oh,
So when you
wow.
talk about expenses and all that, that's why the dogs are so expensive. If you cannot, because what happens is these dogs are these more of the Frenchies now. The Frenchies are small with big heads, small body, big heads when they're born. They 3 ounces, bro. I
Yeah.
mean, sorry, 3 pounds, not even 3 pounds. No, yeah, I know. 7 ounce. Mine when it comes from 5 to 12 ounces. I mean, the
Oh,
smallest 3 ounces. So small little guys, bro. But they cannot really move and they get smashed a lot. So and a lot of Frenchies, the moms are kind of not skittish, but they're kind of in that little bit realm of what's going on out there, and they're
yeah.
very they're very little bit high strung. So
Yeah.
some of the moms don't do well, but I get blessed, bro. I think it's because my dogs is basically free range. They all hang out with each other, and we all kind of coincide together. And within, they made it easy for my transition as far as whelping goes. So yeah, but there's a big market with whelping. I mean, people charge up to about $1,500 a week, and it's a market. People actually getting paid for it. It's because is at the end of the day, you say $5,000 a dog, say, and you
Oh,
get
yeah.
6 dogs in there. That's $30,000.
Oh,
But
yeah.
30,000 you pay back for a C-section is 4 to 5 grand.
Oh,
If you have to pay for a stud fee, that's up to 10,000. Some stud fees 20 grand, but even stud fees 100,000.
oh, shit.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it goes crazy. It's because so the stud fees. Put it say if you buy into a dog, that's the most expensive dog. That the biggest dog, Grim, was the one, but 100 grand, right? You get his stud fee, but his pups can go for like 20 grand a piece, 25,000 a piece. So if you're lucky, you get
Oh,
6 pups in the first litter, 10 pups in the first litter, basically making your money back. And then you
yeah.
get another litter off that dog. Now it's all profit.
That's
So
true.
lucrative, nah. You can make money, yes. But what happens for me is I spend about $1,500 a month feeding these dogs a month.
Yeah.
Just 1,500. I said that correct. 1,500 out there. So when you and so it's again when you ask and if you ask, oh, how come my dog is so expensive? Dog's not expensive. Your Kia in your garage, your Honda Civic is 30,000,
Oh,
forty
yeah.
thousand.
Yeah.
So it's like when you talk about and these dogs last 10, 12 years. Not too many cars out there are gonna last that long. So
Yeah.
Family members, yes. But taking care of him to make sure that they best to their ability, 100%.
That's true. And you seem to know what you're doing, so they'll last normal than most dogs too, especially with how you're feeding them.
We try, yeah. Again, it's like anything, like you said, talk about your daughter with the athlete. We just try to give them the best fuel that they can burn off
Yeah.
and take. Well, it's like jet fuel. That's why jet fuel is so good because they need that burn off out there. You know, why do you think there's three grades of fuel in just regular gas, bro? How come we don't
Yeah.
one? I think it's
Yeah.
three. Don't make sense.
Exactly.
Like how bad is the last one compared to the first one?
Yeah.
Why is there one in the middle?
Yeah.
The bottom one is that bad? So you
So
see,
what do you need it for? Like why do yeah.
yes. And I tell you what, two times, literally two times, my old truck, two of my old trucks before, two times. And I don't like mentioning names, but there's a blue wave label place out here that messed up my injectors, bro. I don't ever
Oh,
use them. I use the other one, the Chevron guy or the Star guys and the Chevron. That's the only I only use
yeah.
Chevron Texaco and 76. That's the only gasoline I use.
76.
Or Shell. I use Shell for my motorcycle. So it's the only one
Okay.
I would use. So 76 in Kanye, they get my uncle and them always say they get the good racing gas, you get the cleanest gas on. I've always followed that, but I was a Chevron guy. But just
Oh,
like anything else, it's what you put in your body and what it's gonna burn and how it's gonna use that fuel to their advantage, right?
that's funny. I was a Chevron guy now, but obviously I was a 76 guy because
Of
that's
course,
where we
yeah.
still were. Fuck it. With all the hooligans. But
Bro.
even 70 Chevron in Kaneohe, they sell ethanol free gas.
Right, right,
And like my dad brought me up that way. You got to get the ethanol free gas for the lawnmower and the weed whacker because the thing would dry out all the gaskets
right,
if
right,
you and it's like now that's embedded in my head. So that's all I grab when I'm using for my lawnmower and stuff. But
right.
yeah,
You
it's
lucky
like
Shell gas station get them, huh?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But it's
no,
like why the difference? You right, bro. Why the difference? Like should it all be good? You know what I mean?
yeah, because my your lawnmower is the same.
Yeah,
You bought the ethanol free carbureted lawnmower.
yeah,
You're like you said, like how come? It's because it's they train you that way, and again, it's this is what you need, and this is why. That's why I always
yeah.
tell the one like Lamborghini or Ferrari that they don't want commercials, right? They don't need,
Oh
they don't
yeah,
want,
exactly.
they don't like you walking around their showroom, bro. They already get their
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
People go over there, they already get what they want, and and it ain't us, right? It ain't us.
I ain't going
But
there.
so they don't want to showroom. Yeah, yeah. They're not again, they don't like no looky loos for sale. Oh, the new Lamborghini came out. Let's go look at the showroom. Hell no, you ain't coming over here.
Yeah,
It's all private only.
exactly.
But that's why, because again, it's the critters that walking around.
Yeah. Well, shoots, we've been going for over an hour. Where can people find you on Instagram if they want to get your dog food or check out your kennels?
Instagram right here. Oh, this way. I don't know. Oh, bro, I'm the opposite. I feed
Yeah.
raw Hawaii. Yeah, right. I feed raw Hawaii for my Instagram. Put it this way. Call me up. You get any questions? I don't put my everybody say, oh, your phone number. Just call me up if you get any question. A lot of people, they're more personable. They don't like ask questions on the internet. They don't like type. Just call me up if you get any questions, or you go to our website right there. I feed raw Hawaii. You can look them up. We got an education center on there. Tells you the transition, like you talked about earlier, the transition of the food. We talk about the weight, how there's a calculator on there. Talk about what's good for the dog and why what the food, what the values are and all that. So but yeah, you can find out all the information on our website. And then if you want to see our dog stuff, just follow us at Calico Frenchies on IG and or Calico Bullies.
And for us, you can find us on Instagram at Above the Bridge Podcast on Instagram, our YouTube channel, Above the Bridge Podcast. Our website is atbpod.com, and my personal Instagram is Thaddy Daddy Hi. All right, on. I know one more thing I want to ask you. This is just one personal question. I always ask like people that's getting popular on Instagram. You get haters or what? Like hitting your comments and that kind of stuff.
Not really, bro. Not really. Sometimes. sometimes like they'll it's more of the I don't like to say dumb questions, but it's that
Oh,
question that
okay.
you know it's a loaded question. Like, why you
Yeah.
asking me this question for? It's kind of like, oh, you know what I mean? It's like, and it's, I hate to say it, but it's more of my peers here than anybody else. The mainland people I get a lot of love from, but there's the ones that's here that it's so again, it's the, oh, but I heard this.
Yeah.
Okay, what you heard that?
Who
Why are you telling
who
me?
who you
If it
heard it
like I would
from?
tell everybody. Yes, no, I'm like that doesn't mean nothing to me, right? I heard, but
Yeah.
I heard this. Okay, if you're telling me, hey, this works for me, brother. Hey, I tried this before, then it's been working for me. You should try them too. Oh, bro, sure, I'm all for it. You mean
Yeah.
I'm all for getting educated too. I'm 100%. I'm yearning for education every day, but it's the like they said the hazing part. It's the huh? Why are you asking me this question for? You
Yeah.
ready? Kind of like, do you know the answer, or you just fishing for an answer you think you know? Just
Yeah.
ask me. This is what you do, and we can conversate. That kind of conversation is going to spring into some bigger conversation that we can even dig deeper, and we can really get better. But
Yeah.
people don't understand it, but they're too. I think they don't get too emotional into that realm because if they're not doing that, they feel shame, right? Oh, I'm not doing that, and it's supposed to know. So that's
Yeah.
where that part, for me, I'm not supposed to know everything, bro. I don't know nothing, so teach me. Put it this way, I grew up in my house with Encyclopedia Britannicas.
Oh, yeah.
We had so that's where we used to read. That's where I used to. My father used to make us read. That's where I learned a lot of my stuff growing up. The encyclopedia, and I
Yeah.
was not shied and never shied away from education. I think that's why I'm why you portray why I portray myself the way I am is because
Yeah.
I love the education behind it.
Oh, our kids never gonna know what that is. They get Wikipedia on the internet.
And me and you still putting that, yeah, what is a
Yeah.
mountain lion? One
Yeah.
lion in the mountain.
Exactly, bro.
All my book reports, bro, came from encyclopedia
Oh
again.
yeah, imagine if we had the internet when we was little kids, bro. I would be a plagiarism champion, bro. Cut and
Plus
paste
that,
out. Oh, that I'll
plus
be
that
probably
the kind canine
yanking
food
every
too,
fucking
bro.
day.
No, for real, no, for real, bro. Plus that canine food, we had the freaking bro. It really had everybody in line over there, so we couldn't plagiarize. Where you learn
Yeah,
that from? Did you plagiarize?
yeah,
Huh? No.
yeah,
Sorry, man. Sorry, sir. So it's like it was
yeah,
embedded into us, bro.
yeah. Right on, bro. Well, I appreciate you taking time to come on my show. I definitely like have you back. I definitely want to see how far you can take this brand and doing your thing, bro. It's inspiring to me, and hopefully, a lot more local brothers out there can get on that level. And we kind of touched on it earlier, like how a lot of people we know see us doing successful and oh, why you know do it this way, or like crabs in a bucket. They don't want to see your success, but fuck for me, I always believe in a rising tide floats all boat. If I can help you succeed, that's not gonna take any shine away from me, but it's gonna elevate you. And bro, that's what I like. See, I like see all these Kanye boys making money and supporting their families and being successful. Like that's
Right,
why that's why we all like grew up. You know what I mean? And it's cool to see the young hustlers from back in the day being successful, doing things the right way. And bro, it's a
right.
trip because you impressed me, bro, and it's
I
cool,
appreciate
bro.
that. I think we just shame of getting scrutinized. A lot of these guys. So a lot of guys with good education, they're scared. Like we go back to baseball. I was a pitcher, so I've always been scrutinized. I've always been in the middle, and but believe it or not, I was super shy, and that's super super shy. But those kind of moments make me who I am today. And again, even
Yeah,
now, this stuff I'm shy, but it's again, I always have to rise to the moment, and not saying I did all the time, but I always had to.
yeah,
And I kind of lived for it. So, but no, I
yeah,
appreciate you, bro, for even having us on and putting us out there like that. Like you said, country brothers got to stick together, but even local brothers at the end of the day, you know what I mean? We all like I see your podcast, all the guys, but it's pretty awesome. So let's give you the flowers, bro. I'll give you some
yeah.
for it. I appreciate you coming from Kanye and seeing where we all come from and what you've been doing. I mean, you like I've said the last time, you've been part of the movement out here for the club scene for, I mean, better of 20 years. So,
Oh, bruh.
yeah, and still going. And not only that, people don't understand what that means. It's not just saying, hey, come to my club. It's actually you guys actually helping the club brand themselves and
Yeah.
build clientele. So you're more on the consultation side, but on the front end of it, because you gotta be there making sure everything is happening. So I applaud you guys, bro, for doing that. And the club scene in Hawaii is jumping. It's been jumping for the last 20 something years. So
Yeah. It's
again,
nuts.
I applaud the art, groove movement for all of that, bro. So
Yeah.
you guys,
Right on. I appreciate that. It's getting rough dealing with these young kids, bro. They all, like I said, I always say they all learning shit I trying to forget.
but again, it's different because what you gonna tell them, they're gonna turn right to Wikipedia, like you said, they're gonna look, oh,
Yeah.
oh, oh. But that's not it. Put your phone away. That is it. That
Yeah.
is that.
Right on, bro. Well, shakas for the cameras.
Gee.
We're out. Shout out to the Artist Group Network. Aloha.
Hello.